Welcome to week one of social media and web analytics. You've either met me once already in person during the lecture for week one, or this is your first time meeting me. If this is your first time, nice to meet you in the virtual world. And I look forward to meeting you in a live lecture early this week. If you've already met me in person because you came to the live lecture before watching this video sequence, nice to see you again in the virtual world. Every week, what I'm going to do is have a short introductory video for the video lecture that introduces you to what you should be working on this week and the different kind of classes and assessment things that might be coming and going. So let's just get straight into that. This week, there's essentially two things you need to kind of work through. The first is a live lecture, which is a course introduction. That's going to be on campus, and you may have already been there. The topic of this live lecture is going to be a course introduction where we're going to address three things. We're going to think about logistical issues, give a brief introduction to the course and my take on social media and web analytics, and then talk you through the different assessment tasks for this class. That's all the live stuff that's going to happen this week. In addition to the live stuff this week, there's a video lecture, which is going to happen every week, where we're going to talk about a bunch of papers that are relevant to the topic we're discussing. So this week, the lecture topic and the videos is an overview of the social media landscape. And I want to cover three topics in a little bit of depth in that lecture. I want to talk firstly about a brief introduction to social media and why it may have taken off. Then we're going to think about why people contribute to social media in the first place, right? If you think about it, it's not immediately obvious that as someone who interacts with the world, that contributing to social media is necessarily what you want to do. So we might think about why people might contribute and different motivations people might have. And the paper we're going to read there and talk through in the lecture tries to disentangle two competing stories about why people might contribute to social media. And it's really an interesting paper. The last thing we're going to talk about in the video lecture is what do we do with non-contributors, or in people who passively consume social media but don't produce content and post on social media at all. So, for example, I'm that person quite a lot of the time. You know, I read a lot of stuff on social media, on Twitter, or go through Instagram, but it's very rare that I'm kind of very active on there posting stuff. And the people that are not posting are called lurkers. And there's always a question of, what percentage of the population of social media consumers are lurkers? And then what can we do with them? Is there a way to activate them and get them kind of involved and contributing and posting in some way onto social media? So that we'll look at that in a third part of that video lecture. In addition to these video lectures for this week, there's a few things I want you to work on in your own time. So I want you to enroll into a lab section. So the class is going to be split into lab sections, like small groups where we meet every week. We'll talk about that in the course introduction lecture if this is a bit unfamiliar to you because you watch this video first. The information will come later during the week when we talk live. I want you to read through the required readings in the lecture notes. If you haven't already, depending on the sequence you watch this, I want you to attend the course introduction lecture and then watch the video lecture. And then if you're watching this introduction, it's going to immediately skip through into the video lecture. So you're already in the right place for that. One other thing not on the slides that I want you to kind of think about and work through, the coding for the course is going to be in R, and we're going to be utilizing a lot of Git and GitHub. So if that's unfamiliar to you, I want you to spend the time where we don't have the lab section or a lab assignment to work on this week and kind of reinvest in kind of brushing up your R skills, brushing up your Git skills. On the course website, there is a tab called course preparation with a bunch of different material you can access. And then depending on what you might be unfamiliar with or want to refresh yourself with, there's links to DataCamp courses that you can go to and work through. With all that information on hand, this video is the first of the playlist for the video lecture. So if you just keep waiting and watching, that will automatically take you through to that. I will see you either virtually in that video lecture or in the next in-person session. See you soon.